He's Grant Ramey. I'm Rob Lewis. This is the Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break on Volquest.com. Grant, Tennessee got a wake-up call in the first half tonight. I mean, a really pesky MTSU team. Tennessee trailed by 6, but didn't really, put the hammer down in the second half.
I didn't show up tonight expecting it to be a near-capacity crowd. I didn't expect Tennessee to need the crowd in the second half. But it's a good thing Tennessee had it because Tennessee was kind of asleep at the wheel there for the last, 10 minutes of the first half. They were up 11, then they were down 6 at halftime. I think it was like a 29-6 run.
26-9
26-9 run, crazy. But MTSU's hitting shots. Tennessee was turning it over. That's what happens if you don't show up to play. And a team like MTSU, the number of tough shots they hit towards the end of the first half. Contested, tough threes, all that stuff. That's what happens. And Tennessee responded the way Tennessee should respond in the second half. They doubled them up.
They did.
They took care of business.
Held them to under 30% shooting,
right.
And really just, I think conditioning was maybe a little part of that, which I'm surprised to say, which is as shorthanded as they were tonight, which we're going to get into. But as the second half went on, Tennessee really just asserted themselves in the manner you'd expect the top-ranked team in the country to do. Held them, doubled up the
48 to 24.
Doubled up the score, 48 to 24. That's pretty significant. And Chaz Lanier and Zakai were kind of cooking.
Right. Chaz just kind of keeps doing what he does. Scores it a ton. Shoots it really well. Zakai's still really not shooting the ball that well, but that's 2 straight double-doubles. Tonight he had 17 and 15, and it feels like he's not even shooting the ball that well. That's how impressive he's been and how much he can impact the game. He almost had a triple-double last week.
He's controlling things, isn't he?
Right. And it just, for him to be that effective, and it still feels like he's searching for his three-point shot because he's getting open looks that are just not going down. That's in a pretty good place right there.
And obviously, maybe if Tennessee had lost tonight, it would have overshadowed it. But as the ho-hum expected result, probably the biggest news of the day, Cam Carr. Adiosin, Xing out, and Coach Barnes not really pulling any punches about how he felt about it after the game.
No, he said no reason. He said he just walked out. He said he was basically baffled by it. He said he didn't really talk to Cam about the decision. He said he surprised his teammates. He said he disappointed his teammates. He said if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here, basically, is what Rick said, what the players had kind of told Rick about that kind of situation in the past. So, no, there was no holding back. And it's just, even in the portal era and the NIL era, when crazy stuff happens all the time, that's pretty surprising. Yep. The number one team in the country, Cam was going to come back and get minutes.
He was going to play
because you needed that body at the end of the bench.
How many? I don't know, but
apparently not to Cam's liking because he's going to try to redshirt and whatever and get in the portal.
I don't want to throw this on Cam, and I don't think the kid, the player himself, would have asked for a guarantee, like how many minutes I'm going to get. Right. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody around him might have done that, and you could forget about that.
Thinking he deserves a bigger piece of the pie than he's got to this point, and thinking he will, go prove himself somewhere else and play to a higher potential than maybe what he's seen. But, Rick's been a guy from the start. He's 100% invested in you as much as you are invested in the program. You're going to get whatever minutes you get, you're going to earn and deserve.
And I think what's great, it's not always, I'm sure it doesn't always feel great, but if you're not playing here, you know exactly why you're not playing, and you know what you've got to do to play. Transparency, I think, is one of the best things about this place.
Right. There's no hiding it. You know exactly why. And if you can fix it, you'll be rewarded. If you put the work in, what surprised me too is we saw Cam in practice the last 3-4 weeks working on defense and last week shooting before he got the cast off. It looked like everything was on schedule and he was going to try to come back. He was on the bench last week before the Western Carolina game, like everything was normal.
And nobody would call him a bad teammate at all.
Right.
Really popular with his team, very well liked.
Right, and the coaches believed he had a ton of upside. The length, athleticism that he had, what he could do on both ends of the floor if he lived up to his potential. It's pretty stunning to walk away from the number one team in the country on December 20th.
And I think everybody, me, you, everybody around the program was like, that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be a big deal for Tennessee to get a talent like that back right when conference play starts. But sign of the times. It is what it is, and it won't be the last time we see a head scratching decision.
And you started the year with 11 scholarship players. You're down J.P. Estrella for the season. Bishop Boswell's out right shoulder day to day. I don't know what's going on there. Rick didn't really have any kind of concrete update timeline. And then Jemai Mashak left the game in the first half.
Talking about some heart palpitations.
Right, with some hand issue, left hand, left finger, something, or fingers on his left hand had to go get taped. in the locker room. So for a minute, you were down to 7 scholarship players available in this game for a few possessions. So it's a crazy time for the number 1 team in the country.
It is a crazy time. But Tennessee gets the win. We're headed into Christmas, and barring a disaster, Tennessee's going to start SEC play as the number 1 ranked team in the country.
Right, 12-0, second best start in program history. The other 12-0 was 1915-16, I think. And the best start in program history, 14-0, like 1922-23. So that's what they're chasing.
Yeah, no question. He's Grant Ramey. I'm Rob Lewis. This has been the Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break on Volquest.com.